Hello, today we are taking a look at BATTLETECH from BATTLETECH. This is a title where you live out of the life of mercenaries and turn-based battles, and how does BATTLETECH do that differently than others? Well, I think it is the only option that really makes sense. You smash, question, list, subvert, fashion, engineers into giant versions of those crazy dancing derpa robots that are on YouTube. You rivet bolt ordnance all over their bodies and see who can turn the other into breakfast atoms the fastest, all of course while trying to not catch yourself on fire by using too many weapons at once and building up your hit rating. It's a little bit XCOM, a little bit boyhood fantasy to be a firefighter, and of course go bots vs transformers all wrap it up in one. Let's see how it does. Shall we end as always? If you like the video, maybe subscribe. So here's my review for BATTLETECH by BATTLETECH. Michael's heatsink and vents in adjusting to hit chance graphics are up first now. It's something to remember the BATTLETECH franchise all the way back from when the original tabletop game was created is about mimicking giant robots going into battle, but it is less specific rim and more robot jokes. Look that last one up. If you are a B-movie fan, you will think me that means that the weight and crunch, and for the majority of BATTLETECH just the feel of inertia that gets on here in noticeable some of the weapon effects, like the first time you fire off a full long-range missile cluster and it looks like you are facing an exploding pomegranate, and no one bothered with foot in any kind of flight dynamics. On the missiles they fling around and mostly hit the target or at least near. In the PPT hits with a massive explosive impact. And even the lasers, as so they lack impact, they burn off and melt bits of the metal that plays into the game's atmosphere and fiction incredibly well. Also, while not all the mech of the time spirit are here, most are, and for the most part bar a couple missing up close weapons, you might say they look well detailed with that very typical build by kids out of spare camera rights pieces that BATTLETECH has always been known for. Now moving on to location, most of them excellent if a bit barren, like there's a moon level you visit many times in the campaign as you travel around, or in skirmish and multiplayer modes. It allows for the interplay of the lighting effects, which can be excellent here against the black background of space, but sadly it's not all good. Some of the location do looks, as I said, boring and really have a feeling of being a bit gamish, white more than I would like and curtainly more than I would like in a game that does have a lot of little RPG elements that you end up experiencing throughout it all. So if a game camera could be definite is a bright spot in the universe, this game camera might be the planet. It's fastest. From its voice, it does not move correctly, and it never really adjusts to the sliders that are in the option. Now is it possible to use no, because you can turn off various settings and just sort of free camera it, but the game really does want you to feel like you're seeing these mechs in an action movie style, but that's never really played off perfectly because the camera just really cannot get it together most of the time. While damage is exciting with firing bits and pieces exploding off the Mexican and the heavy-handed way they move as they swing down valley floors or through shallow creeks, it's a performance that seemed to be a little bit all over the place. Here, for example, I had issue where when I started the performance was fine 16 fps and 40p with all the settings cranked to the max. On a current i7 in a 1080 with just a couple judges here there on loading, no big deal, but as the game progressed, even with favor machines in some battles, the engine started to charge a bit and win in multiplayer and skirmish that doesn't happen very much at all, which does seem to indicate something going on, maybe a teeny memory leak within the campaign itself. Overall, here's the thing so the design BattleTech was already well established prior to the breeze of many folks listening to this video, and it does really well from the dive and tumble feel to the battle mechs, to the excellent character design of Zeus on your ship or who you hired to join you in your robot jocks role. In battles also snap kick and robots, that is always gonna be pretty ace, but the performance does take some hits, and the weapons, especially many of the beam weapons, can look a little bit funky when being used in particular parameters. As a package, I would say it is good, but it does have a couple caveats likely, even so the UE looks incredibly busy. At first, over time and over a little bit of understanding, you realize that most of it makes sense. It could be a little bit smaller, you can turn off one or two of the options, but overall I would have to say I really did like the look of this title, sound, music and voice. Yeah, it's very good. So, thanks for watching, press like button and wait my next video. Goodbye.